I'm taking a strap. I'm strapped up.
Seven, what was that about?
Let's make the fight happen. We strapped the fuck up.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 253 of the SZN Podcast. I'm your boy Kam.
I'm your boy Flowz.
And as always, guys, you know the deal by now. Before I kick off the episode, please make sure you head over to our streaming platforms, which is SZN Podcast or SZN Pod. That's our Instagram and Twitter pages. And then the link in the bio of those pages that will tell you where we're situated at streaming wise. So if you like Apple Podcasts or Spotify, then that's there for you. But also the YouTube link is there if you prefer visuals and other links as well. Make sure you do that for us, guys. Much appreciated. Flowz, how have you been? Good. Keeping warm in this heat. Keeping cool in this heat.
Yeah. I'm good, man. Yeah. It's actually cooled down today, but yeah.
Yeah.
How are you?
Noticeably cooled down compared to the weekend. Weekend was, especially that Saturday.
Crazy.
It was warm out there, boy. Humid. But cool. Flowz, major. I mean, there's some topics that I want to discuss this week. Some talking points. Fight-wise, we did have a fight here in the UK in Birmingham. Yafai against, is it Francisco Rodriguez?
Yeah.
Now, Matchroom card, hometown favorite, Mexican that we don't really know much about. Flowz, are you getting deja vu here?
Yep. A tale as old as time, man.
Unfancied, unheralded Mexican against the highly fancied, highly touted British prospect, or Olympian, gold medalist, right? He's done it all.
Yeah.
Beat Sonny Edwards comfortably in the last fight. So we've got all of that. And naturally, we said these Mexicans, they love to upset the apple cart on these Matchroom shows, boy. And what has happened, Flowz? It's happened again.
Yeah,
it's
man.
happened again.
Yeah. Speak. Yeah. Look, I didn't know too much about this guy. I didn't. Yeah. But when I saw he was Mexican, I was concerned immediately. And
alarm bells. Just for the nationality.
For the first 5 seconds, yeah, I always knew what was coming. The first 5 seconds, I knew what was coming. It was,
brother.
It was peak from the first bell.
For literally, first round, I already knew what the play was, because we're seeing Rodriguez come with a bundle of energy and showing no fear, step into Yafai and just throwing hands immediately.
Yeah.
And obviously Yafai not like it one bit from the jump. And that was the story of the fight, Flowz. This Rodriguez guy came with combinations. He came with hands. He came with energy and aggression. And he, unfortunately for Yafai, suckered him into a slugfest. And come on, Flowz, you really know that it's just not going to work. You can't go, no matter how unheralded these Mexicans are, we know how game they are, we know how tough they are, and we know what fighting Mexican style entails. And that includes them getting into a slugfest and throwing hands, and it's hard to live with them when they do that. And in my opinion, Flowz, Yafai fought the complete wrong fight. And he got drawn into a slugfest, which he was always going to lose against this game, hungry Mexican veteran. This guy, Flowz, don't really know much about him. I know he's been champion before in like the real low weight classes. I saw that he was like a mini weight champion way back in the day. And he's competed for titles. But he's a veteran of 47 fights now, I think, at 31 years old, standard for Mexicans. But he's lost 6 times. So he's not someone I think that was last time, the last opponent of note that we saw him against was Nakatani, who he lost to by UD in November 2022. So he wasn't exactly someone that was super heralded in the division. But I will say this, Flowz, he's a veteran, experienced guy who has fought at the elite level way longer than Yafai. My question to you is, Flowz, do you think that this came too soon for Mr. Yafai? Or do you think, unfortunately, it's where he's at because when you beat the likes of Sonny Edwards, you've got no choice but to be here, right?
Yeah, look, this is why I went and checked. I was like, why the hell did they take this fight? So I'm looking at why this fight was ordered, and I'm seeing it's for Yafai's interim WBC belt, which he obviously won. And this has been ordered in terms of Rodriguez being up next. So he had no choice. It went to purse bids and all that. So this is just where he's at. He has to fight these type of fights, and his style of fight suits this Mexican because I'm seeing this Rodriguez threw 1,000 punches,
Brother.
landed over 50% of his shots. Your fight's gonna come forward. He's gonna press. That's his style. He kind of bullies people, beats them up as well. But yeah, you're not gonna outwork a Mexican, not this kind of Mexican. And yeah, so
Sure.
it was not so much the wrong time.
Mm.
It's more the wrong style. Your fight should have had a different game plan.
Styles make fights, right, Flowz? We've seen
Yeah.
it's the tailor's all this time when it comes to boxing. Yeah, I do think the game plan was wrong from the jump. It was off from the jump. And I don't know if I should be disappointed in the fact that we didn't really try and see no adaptation, no different looks, or was, to be honest, when you've got as much energy as this Rodriguez guy and you're on top of the guy, it's like it's hard to adapt in that, in that sort of scenario. But yeah, man, the fight, I'll be honest, bro, there were certain moments there in that fight, bro, where it looks super hairy. It looks super hairy.
I agree.
You know exactly the moments I'm talking about. There was a knockdown
agree.
that wasn't counted, which looked legit to me. It was like round 7, I think that was.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And then ref ruled a slip, but I said to myself, that looked legit. And then we get to the 12th round, Flowz, where Yafai gets knocked down in that 12th round. And I kid you not, listeners, he was holding on for dear life. Holding is what saved him. He could have, Flowz. In fact, McCracken could have thrown a towel in. Let's be real.
He had that towel gripped in his hand.
He had it cocked in his hand, ready. But Yafai's holding actually saved him in that final round because he was holding on for dear life. It was peak, bro. There were some super hairy moments for Yafai. It was almost sad seeing him like that because obviously this is a highly touted prospect. He's a good fighter. We know what he's about. We saw him in the Olympics, bro. He's a good fighter. But yeah, man, I just think, look, unfortunately, it's where he's at. But I think what we saw on Saturday Night, Flowz, again, when it comes to elite boxing and levels, you can be a great fighter, but to make that step up into that threshold of elite, sometimes it's a lot, man. It's a lot. And it's hard to deal with, man.
Yeah. Look, to be fair to your fight, he done well to see the final belt because he got buzzed in the first round. Third round again, head got remixed. He was all over the place for a lot of the fight. I think the fight could have been stopped anywhere from the 9th round till the 12th. He could have been the referee, the ref or the towel could have come in because the end of 9th round, he took a pummeling. 10th round, took a pummeling. It was peak, and I was like, I'm oohing and ahhing. Every shot that Rodriguez is landing, he's landing multiple shots that are sending your fighter's head this way and that way. He's even flexing it there. He done the Canelo fake shot uppercut.
Yeah.
He done it twice, 2 or 3 times, in fact. I'm like, I'm thinking, who's this? Yeah. Anyway, for me, look, we've said this before that we don't really keep eyes on the lower weights. No one really does. It's a shame because they give you great fights. But yeah, this Rodriguez guy. So I don't know if I've missed Rodriguez in the sense that he's not rated as such, or if it's just because I don't have eyes on that division as much. But he's cold. He's cold. Even when he was getting hurt, because let's give you Yafai credit, he was landing shots too.
Yeah.
But Rodriguez wasn't letting him.
It was definitely. It wasn't like. I can't. I don't know if I can say one-sided beatdown because it wasn't a one-sided beatdown. It
kind of was.
Portions it was, but Yafai actually, as you said, there were times when he did land his own stuff and he tried to make it competitive. He just, I'm trying to be nice to him. I can't lie, bro.
Yeah,
it kind of was one-sided.
I know what you mean. It was competitive, like round for round.
Yeah,
but he was losing every round and getting pieced up.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. It was that kind of fight, man. It was definitely that kind of fight. Boy, I think that's a big learning for Yafai, to be honest. Big learning for him. What do you think, Flo? Obviously, he goes back to the drawing board and comes back. He can come. Look, he's 9 fights into his career. He can come again. I wouldn't recommend running it back with Rodriguez now, but in the future, definitely try and get that link back. But right now, obviously, now Rodriguez has made himself mandatory for the Japanese champion. Is it Kenshiro? I can't remember his surname, but there's a champion in that weight class, Japanese guy. And I'm sure that would be a good fight. Yafai, just go back to the drawing board, build a bit more. Now you see the levels to the elite game. You can, come back with I understand it now kind of energy. And try and, come again. But I definitely don't think it's like a huge, span in the works for his career. He's still in the infancy in his career, to be honest. And he's been accelerated due to the fact that he's got that incredible amateur background, gold Olympic medalist, all that kind of stuff. And he beat Sonny Edwards, albeit it was I would probably say, a not really motivated Sonny Edwards. But Yafai schooled him, let's be real. So, yeah. He earned his position. It probably is come a bit too soon for him, but unfortunately, when you get accelerated, that's how you got to deal with it. And you rise to it or you don't. And Matchroom, unfortunately, just has a history of finding these Mexicans who come and upset the apple cart, man. From the first round, I said, wow, this is shades of Lara already. It was too funny.
Yeah, it's peak. And it's hard to say because this wasn't a voluntary fight or such. Because Lara was a legit cherry almost. It was meant to be a cherry.
Yeah.
So I have to double check. And this one a cherry. This was mandated, and this guy's legit, as you say, experienced. The issue with Gao is he's not young, even though he's very early in his career. Yeah, he's not young, is he?
32. He's like he's older than the opponent, to be honest. Yeah.
So that's always the difficulty. And look, to be honest, we said Sonny Edwards was probably too soon for him, and he proved us wrong there.
Facts.
But stepping up to a Sonny Edwards from the level he was on before, you're mixing it with the big boys now.
It's true. You can't run from that. You're right, Flowz. You can't run from that. Yeah.
Once you step up, you're there. Like we said, this wasn't a cherry. This was a guy who's in position to face him.
We've said so many times in this pod, you're here now. There's no going back. Once you show you're here, you can't. There's no steps back. You have to stay at this level. Have to. And look, it'll be good for him in his career. So look, man, early loss is fine. He's still got enough years, I think, just about, and time to come back from it. Talented fighter, Galal. So I'm not going to write him off just yet. But boy, Eddie, I know, was thinking, damn, again?
Damn. My worry is, though, he took punishment in that fight. Look, granted, he went the distance. Yeah. But someone threw off over 1,000 punches and landed over 50% of them.
Insane.
Those numbers.
You're right. Let that sink in.
500 punches he took in one fight. Oof. And he was from the first round to the 12th round, he was wobbly. Fair play to him, he survived. He only went down once. Once.
McCracken should have thrown a towel in, to be honest, but
it shouldn't have stopped from the 9th round. I'll be real, man. Because I think he was saved by the bell, so fair enough. But man, I know other way. We always say this other way round.
Yeah.
Ref stopping that one.
Facts. And calling the knockdown too.
Yep. Yeah. But hopefully it doesn't affect him too much and he can bounce back.
Yeah. Fair play Rodriguez as well. Cool. So let's run through, I guess, the rundown for the week, because there are a few fighters in action this coming week. You mentioned just before we started the pod that we got Liam Parrow, for example, returning in Australia. Obviously, we last saw him up against Hitchens last year in December, I think it was, where he lost his title, unfortunately. It was a great performance with Hitchens, but he's on the comeback trail against a guy called Jonathan Navarro. Don't know much about him. American 140-pounder. I'm seeing 18 wins, 1 loss, 9 wins by KO. I'm guessing just a simple cherry-picked opponent for Parrow to get back into it. At 140, as we know, it's a very thriving division. And he can still mix it in. Parrow's good. There's no two ways about it. Parrow's a good fighter, so I'm sure he's got some things to say when it comes to those, the arguments going on in the division. So Wish him luck, bro. Wish him luck. Friday, Flowz. It's got 2 fights on Friday that are worth mentioning. The first one is a return of a pod favorite. Let me say pod favorite. A pod favorite topic. At 40 years old, bro, Deontay Wilder is returning. This is like his what, 3rd return?
Yeah.
He's had 2 failed returns. Is it 2? It might be 2, you know. Parker and Zhang, right? Yeah.
Zhang,
yeah. 2 failed returns for the Bronze Bomber. This is we're going for the third one. Lucky, yeah, Flowz. And
bro, you should be fine. You should be okay.
They sure picked out an opponent, bro. Tyrell Anthony Herndon. You heard of him?
No.
So what?
Back to what he knows.
Thank you. I was gonna say Wilder's gone back to. So Wilder's gone back to, because you said, obviously we all said, once you show once you fight at a certain level, Deontay, you got to be at that level. He stayed at that level, Flowz, and he got whooped both times, killed. So looks like Wilder's going back to type, and going back to the usual unknown heavyweight fighters that he mixed it in with for about 40 fights leading up to his fight with Fury. This guy, 24 fights, 15 wins by KO, 5 losses. He's been KO'd 4 times. I'm looking at any people on his resume. He lost to Richard Torres Jr. when Torres was 6-0. You know Richard Torres Jr. He's a big prospect.
Yeah, the American.
Yeah, the American Latino prospect. So Torres knocked him out when he was 6-0. Who else we got for this? Yeah, that's all I can recognize on this resume. I can't lie. I'm seeing guys with losing records and that he's beat. Yeah, he's prime. Look, he's in prime position to get knocked out by Deontay Wilder. However, Flowz.
However, indeed.
However, because this might call me crazy. They might call me. In fact, they will call me a hater. But I don't care. Page, bro. However, Flowz, it's Deontay Wilder, the guy who doesn't throw punches anymore, can't box, fight scared. You call him Devin Haney for being. Wilder was the original fight scared guy from these last couple of fights we've seen. Flowz, it's not far-fetched to say that Deontay Wilder can lose this fight. It's not.
Yeah, it's not.
And if I'm this guy, if I'm Herndon, be brave. That's what I'm going to say to you. Be brave. Push the action and be brave. And I promise you can win.
I'm creasing because we've never seen this guy fight.
Bro, but am I bugging? Am I bugging when I say this? Am I hating?
I'm on the same page as you, but they're going to say we are bugging because the truth is we've never seen dude fight.
Wilder probably could knock this guy out, and they'll say, "See, you're hating." But Wilder should be doing what he should be doing. He should be knocking this guy out. But I'm saying this based on, if you watch Deontay Wilder's most recent fights, forget the rest of his career, but watch him in his most recent fights, Flowz. The guy has been scared to throw punches. He's been scared to engage, and in fact, it's been embarrassing to watch. Sad. No killer. All the killer's gone. So by default, as a fighter, you should be throwing punches. So if you can outwork this guy, you could beat him. In theory, right? So that's what I'm saying, that it is not far-fetched to think that this guy can beat Deontay Wilder. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Yeah. Wilder probably will. But if I'm Herndon, be flipping brave. That's it. Go, bro.
I'm looking at this guy's record.
Bro,
a Jaguar beat him in his debut, dropped him twice in round 1.
His debut, you know.
Yeah. So look, anytime this guy fights anyone credible, he loses, it seems. But you don't need much to beat Wilder in my eyes. You don't need much. So look, do something great. Do something great and get Wilder out of here. But
go on.
I expect Wilder to win, and I do want Wilder to hang about because I need more.
So you're still going about this. You're still going about this.
I need Wilder to look scintillating, knock this guy out of the first round, get his confidence back, and get right back in there with some of the guys I needed to see him with.
Flowz, you're a nasty man, you know this.
I want Wilder's full of confidence. I want it back. I want to say Wilder's back.
Next week, we have to be saying Wilder's back.
That's all I want to hear. Wilder's back. Another highlight reel KO.
Yep.
Buddy, take a dive if you need to. Because
I mean, I feel like that also might not be out of the question. Is this guy taking the dive? I'll be so real. He one punch from one. Hey, we've low-key seen it before, right? One will land. They'll be like, nope, I don't want no more. We saw Brother Malik Scott. He felt that one punch. He said, nope, done. By the way, I don't know if Brother Malik is in the corner. I don't know if they've still got a working relationship. I have no idea. I don't really follow anything to do with Wilder, to be honest. So, but obviously, the usual. They've been getting onto Brother Malik saying that he ruined Deontay Wilder. So I don't know if that's played into Wilder's psyche or not. I did read something about Wilder saying how he's been seeking professional therapy and help. But I think he's been going on this for a while about him needing mental stuff like that. And I'm not here to knock mental health. It's real, and I think Wilder generally was going through some stuff mentally. But yeah, he's promised a new and reinvigorated bronze bomber. That's what he has said. And we're going to see him, back to his best. So let's see. He's got the perfect opponent to do that against, right, Flowz? Perfect opponent. Well, from what I can see.
It should be. It should be. He stepped up, couldn't hang. Now, I'll grant him this one because you lost 4 of your last 5.
Yeah.
So look, it's good to maybe have a comeback. You've not fought in a year or so.
Yeah.
I'll give him this one. But don't stay at this level. don't try and get a run at this level. Do this one, then get right back in the mix. Get right back in the mix. I saw him talk about Tyson Fury, saying Tyson Fury is a cheater. He's more than a cheater. Look, I don't really care for them two, man. Look, I've now thought about it. I want Wilder to win. So let's see what you can do.
I said, I know why you wanted to win. You got something devious loaded, but we'll see. But look, if he loses, man, he really needs to call it a day, man. He really needs to call it a day if he loses.
Yeah. That's fair.
You can't be losing to guys like this, man. Come on, man. That's insane. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Bronze bomber back. Also on Friday, it's worth noting as well, up in the 168-pound division, we've got Mbili versus Sulecki. That's for the WC Interim World Super Middleweight title. I guess that's pretty much just a number one. I'm pretty sure Mbili has been number one contender, but maybe for one of the other bodies. But I swear he was mandatory for one of Canelo's belts before. But this is definitely gonna.
Sure he was.
Yeah, it must be another governing body, but this is the WC. So again, this is gonna cement the winner as the number one contender, I guess, for whoever has the belt post Canelo or Bud, which we'll talk about briefly later as well. But Sulecki, we know very well, Flowz. We've seen him from 160 up until 160. He's at 168 now. He's fought pretty much quite a few of the big names, right? He's fought. We've seen him fight Pacheco, Ubu. He fought Gabe Rosado, Danny Jacobs, Jack Colkay. So he's been around for a while. So good opponent. But Mbili, who we last saw up against Derevchenko, impressive win against Derevchenko. This is his first fight this year. Look, we know what style Mbili brings. Straight all action, throws hands, fights like a Mexican, to be honest, look, bro. I expect him to come away with this one. Strong, very raw, very dogged. All offense, really. I expect him to come away with this one. As you know, that 168 division is still nice. There's still some serious players in that division. So Mbili is one of the potential. He's been talked about as a potential Canelo opponent for a minute, I think. He'd be looking to make a statement, right, Flowz, and say, I've got next, depending on who wins the Canelo and Bud.
I think they tried giving the boogeyman tag after the last win, didn't they? They tried hyping him up a bit too much.
Top rank tried it, yeah. Top rank.
It was a bit crazy because you just arrived, really.
And we can see, don't get me wrong, he's starting to watch, but we see the flaws in this game, right, Flowz? Yeah. Noticeable flaws.
And look, we've always said to get the Canelo lottery, you've got to beat the dudes around you. He's yet to do that as such. But look, this is a credible name. Probably past it, Selecki for sure. Yeah, definitely a past it, Selecki.
Yeah.
So he should win.
Yeah. Saturday, Flows. The return of the problem child, Jake Paul. He's up against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
Yeah.
No, I don't really care for the fight. Too tough. It's not really something I mean, we can briefly discuss it. Obviously, I wanted Jake to stick to the MMA guys, but every now and again he likes to fight a boxer. Jake should probably lose this. To be honest,
He should.
He should probably lose this. Say what you want to say against about Chavez Jr. We can't deny the fact that the kid was a champion. He was an actual bona fide world champion. I think he defended it once or twice before. Obviously, he went. Chavez went downhill based on the fact that he had no love for boxing.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Really, he didn't really like to train. He didn't really care, and he would go into fights ill prepared. But he actually was a decent fighter when he was actually serious. So actually, Chavez Jr. should win this, but with all Jake Paul fights, you never know. There's always funny rules and stuff like that sometimes, and if Jake wins, they'll say it's rigged again. So prepare for the usual comments, man. But Jake should really lose this, really truly, depending on what version of Chavez turns up. To be honest, but I don't really care for the main event. I guess you don't either. But it's always worth tuning to the Jake Paul cards because he always puts boxers on his cards for real. And we've got Zurdo Ramirez, who's defending his WBO and WBA belts against Dorticos. That's on the undercard. I think that's a chief support. Dorticos, we know quite well. He's been around for a long time now. Up at cruiserweight for ages. We saw him fight in the tournament that Usyk won.
Yeah.
Dangerous, heavy-handed Cuban. KO doctor stops most of his opponents. I think he's 2 losses on his resume. I'm trying to find the 2 losses. 1 second. He's lost to Gassiev and he lost to Paredes. Those are the 2 losses, and those were 2 of the top guys in the cruiserweight division.
Serious guys. Yeah.
So I think he's 39 now. That's the thing, though. He's definitely old now because he's been around for ages. Yeah, he's 39. Should be a good fight, but I expect Zurdo to come away with this. Obviously, we know what the talk is around the cruiserweight division. We want to see Zurdo versus Jai. And Jai, obviously, after stopping his last guy, was quite bullish and saying he wants Zurdo next. I think Zurdo's also said that once he deals with Dorticos, he's looking to make that fight as well. So fingers crossed for a Zurdo win, and then we can actually hopefully see that Opataya versus Zurdo fight, because that is the fight for the division, right? There's nothing else really in that division for us to see at this point. Those are the 2 clear best, and I think they'll make for a great fight, man, if they can make that.
Yeah. I expect Zurdo to win this one, and then next has to be versus Zurdo. Yeah, nothing else.
Cool. Okay, Flowz, let's talk about some of that. I guess in boxing, because a few things have gone on in boxing for the past week.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's start with when we're already at 160. I mean, we talked about 168 pounds just a minute ago, so let's talk about 168. And obviously, we're seeing that. I just want to mention how obviously we're seeing that the Canelo Crawford media press tour is in full swing now. Obviously, their fight is on September the 13th, I think it is, live on Netflix.
Yeah.
Why are you looking like that? You still not happy about the fight?
I don't really care.
I think you'll probably warm up to be fair. I'm with you, but you warm up to it. I mean,
I'll be there.
Flowz, they're winning me over in the fact that obviously the news that we saw about the commentary team and the return of Max Kellerman to boxing. Flowz, I don't know about you. I saw that news. I was so happy. So happy to have Max back in boxing. We haven't seen Max in a long time. And I'm hearing Jim Lampley as well. So the old HBO team.
Okay.
That is Flowz. Max Kellerman in boxing and Jim. That's boxing heritage, bro. That's heritage. Heritage, bro.
Carry boxing on its back for a long time, then, man. Commentary stuff.
Bro.
The faces, for sure.
That HBO commentary team was undefeated. Go on there, sorry.
When you said that to me, I was like, this is Mr. HBO. This is with what's it called? The face-offs. What was it called? Yeah, it was face-offs.
Face-offs, yeah. Face-offs.
Max Kellerman, gave us some classic insights. And then boxing kind of got invaded by people who didn't really know boxing too tough. Whereas Max knows boxing. Yeah, exactly. Maddox.
The guys
Even
that do
what's his
all
name?
the other sports, basically, they
Yeah,
yeah. Instead of specializing in the commentary team, they're getting guys
yeah,
who do. Because I see Maddox on football and baseball. You know what I mean?
yeah,
He does all sports.
yeah.
So yeah,
It's like, but yeah. Max Kellerman knows boxing. So it's good to have him. And I wondered why he's been away from it for so long, but it's good to have him
yeah.
back, especially with
Jim
boxing thriving. So
Jim as well. Good to have Jim back too with him. And I was just there thinking, just look, if you guys can, just Turkey, my friend, just do one more thing for me. Just give Roy Jones a call as well. Just and then look, then we've got the team. We got the team back, bro. Give me Roy Jones.
uh,
Let Jones be patting everyone else.
went to never say that.
No, that's
Yeah,
how it is, man. I'll be happy if you get all three of them. I'll be super happy. But Max is great news to have. Like I said, boxing heritage. Good to have Max back. I saw in the presser he was the one like introducing the fighters and whatever. So look, Max is good at what he does. He's elite when it comes to
yeah,
the boxing talk. So that's good to see. Obviously, as expected, I'm seeing. Look, there's no real neither between Porter and Canelo, but they're competitors. So I wouldn't be surprised by the time we get to September, it gets a bit more smoky between both of them because they're both winners and they're both highly competitive guys. But yeah, they started off respectful so far. We'll see. We'll
I
see how
saw a
it
little
turns out.
push. I saw a little push
Yeah, after the
and
push,
confrontation, but
that was come on, that was
yeah, nothing. Yeah.
Bomac got in there quickly.
I don't know why. I don't know why Bomac was rushing there.
Bro, Bomac's always, but you know Bomac's always ready to go. Always.
Always talking, always. I don't know what. Let's stay somewhere safe, bro, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. Bomac is too funny, man. Always ready, always active.
Loves it. Loves it.
But yeah, we'll see how it is. But yeah, that super fight is well underway in terms of its in them building hype. So fair play. The other thing I want to talk about flows, other news. Boots. Predicted it. I had a feeling it was going to be the case. I know you said you might as well just chill around and go for undisputed, but I just had the feeling that 154 was just that allure of it was too much for him. And look, he's big at the weight anyways at 147, so it is what it is. But he's officially announced, from what we can go off what he tweeted, that he's going to 154 now. So we have another major player in that division. I like the move personally. There's a lot of opponents there for him that he can take. He can start fighting, and again, it sets that wheels in motion for that road to, I guess Ortiz, which we want to see at some point. Obviously, we don't know what Bud's situation will be, because if he wins against Canelo, I don't see him going back down. And also, I don't actually think Bud has that many fights left in him. But yeah, if he comes back down to 154, then great, I'd like to see it. But yeah, Boots can be the next face of that division, him and Ortiz as well. You've got a lot of opponents in there, bro. Zoo, Charlo, Fundora, Bakram, Bohachuk, Xander Zayas.
Happy no way, Charlie. Is that?
I said Charlo, but hey, we saw him the other day. He was talking like he was going to come back as well. So
Yeah,
we'll see. But yeah, it's good. What are your thoughts on him moving up, Flows?
Yeah, I think because it's not the best look. I can see his haters piping up again because obviously Brian Norman Jr. won his fight and they were trying to make that fight happen the day before. Was it the day before Norman Jr.'s fight? He moves up.
No, yeah, day before he moved. Yeah, day before his fight, he moved up. Yeah,
yeah, and that's a champion at your weight who people have been wanting to see, and he had a chance to move up to 154 before to fight Ortiz Jr. Turned it down.
Yeah, to unify against Stanionis.
Yeah, and now this Norman fight is probably for Americans is bigger than the Stanionis fight for Americans.
Now, so because he's not the guy out.
Yeah,
they weren't saying that before, though, Flows.
They weren't. Yeah, they weren't.
And we can't deny the fact that they tried to make it twice.
Exactly. They did try to make it twice. But optically now, Norman Jr. saying what he's saying and him moving up the day before, people can view that how they want to view it. So I think he could have dealt with a lot of things before moving up, but it's fine to move up because there's greatness at that 154 division for sure.
There's more greatness at 154 than there is 147. I also think the people that are calling them out saying that I think it's nonsense. If you look at it doesn't make sense to me because they tried to make the Norman Jr. fight twice. Norman Senior's openly come out and said, "Yeah, we turned down career high money in this because we weren't ready to make that fight yet." He's not. How does he predict that Norman Jr. was going to go and have that stunning KO win a day before? So I think Bruce has just done what's best for him in that sense. And obviously he's at 154 now. It is what it is. Norman can go up and chase him if he wants to. Do you know what I mean? But it is what it is. And let Norman and the rest have 147. I think it was right. I've always said Boots being so big at 147. I don't know how long he's going to maintain being at 147. And he's mentioned before as well that it's not the easiest to make weight. He does it, but it's not the easiest. So at 154, let's see how he gets on, man. I think he can do very, very well. And as you said, there's more legacy to chase there at 154. There's way more killers. It's way more stacked. His biggest competition at 147 is right now a Brian Norman Jr. Only other person that called him out, bro, is Teofimo Lopez, and he's at 140.
Yeah.
Oh, Conor Ben as well. But yeah, I mean, you're not going to say that?
Never. So fake call-outs.
Fake call-outs. So we don't count those, right? Yeah. So, yeah, man. So it is what it is. 154, that's what the killers are. Go make yourself a killer. Go cement your legacy. That's what I think of it. But yeah.
I have seen some fights that are meant to be happening this weekend that might shock you.
What?
So apparently on the other card of Jake Paul and Chavez, we have our very own Tevin Farmer against Floyd Schofield Jr.
Wait, what?
Yeah, on the undercard, Floyd
Is that
Schofield
legit?
Jr. versus Tevin Farmer. Check out. Yeah.
At what? At 135?
Yeah.
Fairs. It's a great fight.
That's an interesting fight.
That's a great fight.
That's an interesting fight. So yeah, that card's gonna be locked in now almost. That's an interesting fight. And as well as that, I'm seeing
Schofield's PRs. By the way, Schofield's PRs in the mud. By the way, shocking.
Yeah,
after yeah.
That's why he's quiet. That's why I heard of it till now.
Yeah,
but also we have your boy, one of your all-time greats, Jean Pascal. I can't believe this guy retired on Triller against Sislak, the Polish. Is it? Yeah,
Polish Sislak, yeah. I know Sislak, yeah. Wait, Jean Pascal's still going.
I can't believe
one of the funniest characters in boxing.
You know what? I hope he has the penalty system again because that'll make for great fuck.
Yo, Ed Pascal cinema movie.
Unbelievable. Get stronger as the fight goes on.
Don't stop edging. Oh my god, bro! The way he was throwing haymakers in the 12th round, I said, yeah, Trump test this guy immediately. What the hell is this?
Yeah,
at 40 years old. Yeah. Okay.
And finally, what's it called? Shakan Peters versus Bradley Ray, apparently. So
yes, okay.
That's a good fight.
I did see that actually. I did see that. Yeah. That's on. That's the Zone. Yeah. Yeah, in Ireland.
Yeah,
that is. Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
And that's domestic fight.
That's actually for the European heavyweight title. Yeah. So yeah, that's actually a decent fight still. Yeah. Okay. It's actually a fairly stacked weekend, to be fair. Then we think about it then in terms of what we got going on. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Flowz, I think we can leave it there. Cool. All right then, guys. This has been episode 253 of the SZN Podcast. Once again, your boy Kam.
I'm your boy Flowz.
And as always, guys, you know where to find us on the streaming platforms. Peace.
I'm taking a strap. I'm strapped up.
What was that about?
Let's make the fight happen. We strapped the fuck up.